I'm freaking her out. I was trying to do the slow blink. It's not working. It's not working. She's like, what are you trying to do? Oh, she just tried to catch her own tail. Wow, cats are so interesting. What are you doing? Trying to catch your own tail or something? What are you doing, huh? What'd you knock down? Huh? You want to go get that thing that you knocked down? What is it? Why are you so interested? What is it? I need to know. Alright, I don't know what it was, but yeah, you're so funny. You knocked my stuff off. Want to knock anything else off? Here, let's knock this off. Okay. I'm really not supposed to have anything up there on her space. That's her space. But all right. So I like to talk about things, as you know. So I wanted to tell you. You know what? I can never think of what I want to say. So I thought maybe what I would do is, when someone asked me a really interesting question and I'm interested in it because I was thinking about this all the way home, maybe I'll make a video about that. So today, one of my friends, and maybe I shouldn't tell you which friends this was. I don't know how anonymous I should keep this, but I should keep it pretty anonymous. So, okay, let me do all that. Let me do all that over. I'm going to say, so today I was talking to somebody, and I got into an interesting conversation with them, and it started out that they were talking to someone else, and they were saying something like, okay, I really should just let him cry himself to sleep. That's something like what I heard. I was like, no, don't do that. I was like immediately over there going, no, don't do that. That's not good. That's deprivation. And then I realized she doesn't know what I mean by that. So I explained that deprivation causes orality. The psychiatrist that I learned this from laid out that there was 5 different body/personality types or character types, all of the above. And it's very interesting that he goes into a lot of depth about these different character types and the way they show up. Orality is a very frightening thing where a man can't be a man. He cannot do things like face confrontation. He always sees the negative. He almost like must be adored and worshipped, or he thinks you hate him. He also will turn your sex life around to where if you don't, he decides that you need to approach him for intimacy. And if you ever don't do that, it means you don't love him. And you spend your whole time with this person just being like, my God, how did I land in crazy world? That's what happens when a person develops orality. So basically, all of us mothers, all of you and me, all of us mothers should realize that it's always all of our fault. I know it's not fair, but here's the thing. You are in charge of the most important part of your child's development. Sure, he'll continue on his development throughout his life. Maybe he won't. It depends on what kind of job you do. So we try to do a good job, and many of us really wanted to do a good job, but hey, we're just human, and we can only give what was given to us. We really don't have the capacity to give something that wasn't given to us. So many times the mothers are going in not knowing how to be mothers. Hang on. And they haven't ever really thought about it. So when now they're presented with an opportunity to be a mother, they're overwhelmed. It blows your mind when your life is no longer yours, okay? It takes some adjusting. So during the adjustment, there could be some neglect going on just because the mom also needs. In fact, every time there's a new mother, everyone should be in this person's service for a few months, doing every single thing they can for this person. You should mow the lawn. You should wash the dishes. You should maybe do their laundry. You should do anything that you can do because it's such an amazingly stressful time. I know you want my attention. Come here. I'll hang out with you. And later we can play. I know you missed me. Yeah, I know you missed me. Okay. can't remember what I was saying. I have to go back. Yeah, so it is all your fault. It's my fault and your fault, okay? And here's the reason. There's not many times a mother has to step up to the plate and get the job done no matter what you've been through in your life. But when the child is born, that's the time. You have to just maybe realize this. He can't get it from anyone else. Whatever you don't give him is lost. It's just gone. Now, he will be the kind of man that he will be. Okay, let me go into another part of this. Men are givers. So you can tell by their body that they're givers. But here's the thing. How is a man supposed to learn to be a giver if no one's really satisfied his need to be given to? And the only opportunity that we ever have to do that is in childhood. And the mother has this opportunity. It's not anybody else but the mother. And you have to be interested in the child. You have to spend time. You have to almost, I didn't do this with my first child, but I did my second. You have to be grateful. You have to be grateful. Big difference in a mother that's resentful that she's getting up in the middle of the night and one who's just so grateful to see her child for a few seconds in the middle of the night. It's like a treat. When you do that, he won't even give you the opportunity for very long. I think my son woke up for maybe 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and he stopped. And I kept. No, it might have been more than that. It might have been almost a month. I don't know. It might have been around a month. But I just remember that we were in sync. He never had to cry. I was already having a little trouble sleeping, but I think it was because we were mentally in tune with each other. Because I would wake up in the middle of the night, and it just so happens he would wake up at the same time, which is very weird. And I would be lying awake going, oh, I'm awake. How interesting. And then I'd hear him calling me from his room. And his name I thought for me, because I thought he would go like this. He would go, ah, that's what he would do. And I thought that maybe that was his name for me, but so I would just be overjoyed, and I would get up and run to his room and be like, hi, and I would pick him up, and he'd be smiling, and we'd hang out for a while, and then he would go to sleep much too soon. I would nurse him, and he'd go to sleep again, and I'd hold him for a little longer, and then I'd put him in his crib again, and the thing is, like, this is really weird, but you know how a lot of times, like, you're so worried. You're so worried that your baby's going to continue to sleep through the night just because you're spoiling him, or that you try all kinds of things. I knew a woman that would even sleep outside of her own home because the baby just didn't stop needing her all night. And I was trying to. I taught an exercise class that she was in, and I kept saying, but she's telling you what she needs. I don't know why, but she needs you to spend longer with her as long as she wants. People hear me say that and they think I'm talking about spoiling a child. You can't spoil a baby. The baby will tell you always what they need, and to the extent that you give that to them in their period of receiving, to that extent will they become full human beings. It's all on you. Enjoy. Because it's all on you, for real. Now, I kind of messed up a lot with my first son. Not that he didn't turn out amazing anyway. But I did. I made a lot of mistakes, and then a lot of those were corrected by my second son, but I still made a lot of mistakes, and I'm not speaking from any point that's higher than you. I'm just saying that I made a lot of mistakes. I learned from all of them, and if I had to do it again, I would do it a lot differently. And I know what works and I know what doesn't, and what works is love, but it has to be real. None of this sing-songy fake love that we like to think is real. It's not. It's not, oh, hi, oh, goochie, goochie, goo. That's not love, okay? That's just drama. What you have to do with the baby is tune into them because they're more in touch with the Creator than anybody else. So really, hang out with them. Also, they're new to this world, so you can make them feel welcome in the world, what I used to do is just work on my baby's head. He was so adorable anyway, and I would just work on his head like that, And I would kiss him on the forehead, and I'd tell him what a lovely baby he is. And then his eyes would roll up into his forehead, and he would drift off to sleep while he was nursing. And that was my second son. It wasn't my first, because when I had my first son, I had no idea how to give. No idea. No one had ever given to me. I mean, I don't want to say it like that. My parents were not very giving people. I was about to correct myself and say they were probably more giving I'm giving them credit for, but they really weren't. They weren't very giving physically or emotionally or even monetarily or anything. Their thing with everything is sink or swim. Throw you in the swimming pool and hopefully you'll learn how to swim. And I learned how to drive by my father took me out on a highway, or like getting on the ramp to a highway. I was going super fast, and I was like in my first time, and I was terrified. The whole family's in the car, and I'm terrified. I'm going to kill everybody, God forbid. And that's how and also he broke my foot twice when I was a child by screwing down the screws on my brace. I wore a brace on my whole leg, and he broke my right foot twice. I have 2 breaks in my foot that never got mended. My bones are messed up. That's his thing. He was a more is more type guy. He was like a bull in a china shop, if you will. Okay? And I'm not complaining, because we have the parents we have to teach us what we need to know. And one of the things I really love about my relationship with my dad is that even as a child, his lack of ability to love hurt me greatly. I wanted so much just to love my dad and just to show it and just to almost throw my arms around him and just be so grateful for him. But he had this wall up. It was really a brick wall. And he defended it with anger. All the time anger. You couldn't get close to him. But I knew as a child that he felt guilty. He felt too guilty to allow himself to let people love him. Because I also recognized that the thing he felt guilty about was this enormous debt of bad behavior that he had already done, that he was trying to pretend he didn't do. So, when you bring it up, he just gets mad. So he's just, he was trying to protect. It's almost like an image. He's got a squeaky clean image on top of a lot of bad stuff, hurting his kids over and over, But he's put a smile on it. He shined it up, and it's a big, shiny lie, throughout our lives that never happened. And I kept saying, Dad, it happened. It happened. Whether or not you learn from your mistakes, cool. If you don't, okay. We still love you. We don't really want to hang around with you much, but we do love you, and we wish you the best, But I just, but then he did come around. He did come around. He used to do just the most hateful things. Like, he would tell you in no uncertain terms that he just wasn't interested in anything you had to say if you're a woman. And so he was that kind of guy. I kind of grew up with a man that had a certain amount of disrespect for women. It was kind of a red pill sort of thing. And I wonder, I almost think kind of my own father might have had a bit of orality himself. But what I was saying is that at the end of his life, it was only like the last couple of years of his life, he really started coming to terms with the reality of himself. And he became authentic for once. He wasn't trying to defend the mask all the time. And he called us up one by one and said, I'm so sorry that I hurt you when you were children. I don't know what happened. He said, I don't think that I was all there. That all was good. Even if you don't have the words to apologize, the fact that you're pouring out your heart like that. So we all forgave him. And then at the end of his life, he died 5 days after I saw him for the last time. I had taken a train to Colorado, and I'm actually going to make a video about that trip, I think. But, and then I was amazed because I was holding him in my arms. I was holding him in my arms, my own father. My father who never accepted hugs, never accepted love. If you really try to give him some genuine love, it would be rejected in some way. You would walk away going, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed that I tried to give him love. But I always had in mind that I wanted to bring him back to reality. I wanted to bring him back to wholeness. And I can't take credit for that all myself, but that was when you have a commitment to help someone and bring them back, and that commitment is never going to die. No matter how long it goes on, you still have that commitment to bring them back and help them. It will work. It really will, because I think that God recognizes such a thing as precious and helps you the rest of the way. And that's the way it was with my father. I was so thankful that he was able to come back to love. He came back to just simple love. Most people, I look around in the world and most people can't love. And that's, again, my fault and your fault, dear mothers. It's our collective fault, because only we have the responsibility at that crucial period of life to give our children, and especially our boys. They will only be able to give to the extent that you give to them now. And you completely satisfy all of their desires for love, food, warmth, cuddling. You have to, and do it with a joyful heart. Then they will grow up to be men that will give with a joyful heart. They won't be any of these crazy red pill men. That's what we've been creating. We've been creating red pill men. Time to stop all that. We're going to go back to normal now, okay? We're going to raise men with heart. And you do that. Let me explain something to you. Men are givers. You can tell by their body. Women are receivers and developers. You can tell by their body. If a man tries to feminize himself, in a way, psychically, he comes off like a woman. He can't be in his masculinity if he does this. That's one of the things the oral character does. So if you, okay, so here's the thing, like when a little boy is born, every cry, every wanting mommy, every I need my mommy, I need you to cuddle me, every time when he's rooting, satisfying his whole desire. There's nothing that he needs at that time that's wrong. It might for you be excessive. It might, in your opinion, be, it might be like to you, oh, this is taking up too much of my time. But really, again, if it's not you, then who? It has to be you. You have to make sure this baby gets what he needs in terms of being given to. That's the only way that he will know how to give. If he feels that satisfaction of someone is giving to me with this, like they're happy to give to me. They're happy to just roll out the red carpet for me. They're making sure all of my needs are fulfilled to the very detail. If you do that for a man, that's how he will treat a woman. And he'll take care of her in that way, and she will love him. When a man does that, we can't help ourselves. And he will marry a good woman, and she will love him, and he will treat her right. He will be able to love her, and she will respond to that love by giving 10 times back to him. That's how it works. But it all starts with us, okay? So I'm just telling you, like in my experience of the oral personality men, is that they tend to do this thing that the red pill men do. What they do is they almost like, they like require the woman to approach them. So it's almost like they're like, yeah, I've approached enough. Now it's your turn to approach me. So then after marriage or after they are with a woman, now they expect her to always approach him for sex. We are receiving and developing machines. You are a giving machine, sir. So feel free to do your job, you know? So the approach is always on you. Now listen, we can mix it up a little sometimes. That's fine. But mostly the approach is on you. And you shouldn't be trying to put that on me, because that's not what I'm supposed to do. So giving it all back to you, you need to take responsibility for that. Yes, you have to approach. Now, how you approach is going to determine not only the type of sex you have, but the way your wife loves you, and if that love will last. So you can either approach with gratitude and love and unselfishness and in a giving kind of mood, or you can approach with uh, something like an attitude where you need to be satisfied and it's her job to satisfy you, and she better drop everything and satisfy you right now. That's like two very different things, right? And also, if you fill your life with a lot of affection, because see, a woman will always give you 10 times back whatever you give her. So if you fill your life with a lot of affection that continues to show his loving feelings, the love that you show to her will ignite your intimacy. There's nothing that ignites it more than that. These random acts of affection throughout the day or throughout your life, nothing will ignite your intimacy more than that. And it's simple when you come to women. That's what they want. But yet again, I'm not talking about crazy women, am I? No, I'm talking about regular women, which, yeah, I know that they're kind of rare. I don't know how rare, so we're not going to talk about that. But there is a type of woman that really does just want the simplicity of just all she wants is love. That was me too. All I wanted was love. I didn't need anything else. I needed to be loved, and I needed to love. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. So, wow. I'm eating honey. We're just about on Rosh Hashanah right now. Okay. Right. All right. Wow, that's good honey. So, we also touched on, when I was talking to my friend, this idea of deprivation. Deprivation leads to orality, and suppression leads to the masochistic body/personality type. I don't want to be either one of those things. But you don't want your kids to be either one of those things. They're very bad things. Oh wait, I shouldn't have said that, because I actually work with people that have these different problems. Oh gosh. So I'm not trying to malign them or anything. I'm just saying that, let's just say that both of these two personality types, both the oral personality type and the masochistic body type, personality type, those are not easy lives to have. They're not easy on the person that's living their life. They're not easy on anybody else that knows them in life. So that's what I'm saying. That's why we want to try to avoid having to fix these things later. That's why I'm making this video. I would really like mothers to understand that you don't want to deprive your kids. In fact, maybe there's nothing better. You know what I discovered during my second son's era is that I actually wanted to just take time off from all the work that I was doing and just let him show me how to be, which he did. And I ended up doing things like, I don't know, maybe I'd drive out to the mall to buy some pants for the kids, and he'd be in the back seat, and halfway there he would cry. So I'd find a side street, I'd pull over, and I'd nurse him. I mean, if that's what he was crying for, or I'd cuddle him, whatever he wanted. And that's how we did. Like, wherever we were, he counted on me, and I came through. I don't think there's anything that can give a kid more confidence and peace than that. And the thing is that I see this kid. He's grown up. He's not ready for marriage yet, but I think he's going to be a really great catch when he finally is ready for marriage, because I just think that he's got his head in the right place, and He can figure things out, and I'm not worried. Anyway, so I actually really feel bad for the kids. I mean, imagine being deprived as a baby. Imagine you're kind of trying to work that out in your head, like it's almost like you're asking for your needs, but nobody's thinking they're important, and it's almost like you can't explain. But guys, I'm a baby, you know. That's what I feel like. Is that I feel like we should all just really understand that when babies are here, we're here to serve them. That's what the deal is. You have to the extent that you give to them, will they be able to give to other people? That's the last thing I'm going to say. Talk to you later. Bye. I don't want that to drip. All right. All right. Bye. Talk to you later.